Earnestly podcast coming to you on March 11th, 2021. Folks, what's going on? My allergies are kicking my ass today. I've been doing pretty well on that in recent weeks and days, whatever. The last day or so, man, it's kind of kicked back into high gear again. Kind of annoying, you know. By the way, we're back on YouTube. We're back on the videos, on the video side of things. Last episode we couldn't do that. We had some technical issues on my end. But we're back on video. Of course, Earnestly Media on YouTube, Earnestly Media on Facebook, Earnestly Media on Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about on the show today. A lot. I took a lot of notes today for the show. But let's start here because today is actually a full year since all our lives changed with COVID-19. It was today a year ago that all the cancellations of sports, you know, all the basketball games, the NBA season suspended, spring training baseball, I think was followed suit, NHL canceled games. We really hit the panic meter 1 year ago. I can't believe it's been a year already. In parts, it feels like it's taken a long time to get here. In parts, it feels like it's been 5 years. And I've been saying to people too recently that in this last year, like, you know, when we all age, obviously, we get older and all that. That's part of the process of living. You get older, you know. You age, you will age. I feel like this year, and it's not to insult anybody, because I think I'm also, actually I know I'm also part of this by looking at pictures of how I looked in, say, like January of 2020, and then now March 2021. I feel like people have aged more in this last year. A lot of it's probably stress for the COVID. It could be the wearing the masks for the last year. A lot of reasons. I feel like a lot of people I know, especially, look a lot older, a little older than it's one thing to age from year to year, but I feel like people I know, especially, feel like they've aged a few years in the calendar year. And again, it could be for many reasons. I'm not going to judge. But I just noticed that like, people I've known, I've seen in the last calendar year, they look older. And it could be a lot of reasons. It could be, like I said, the mask, could be the stress, could be everything. Health, who knows? But this has been a challenging year for a lot of people. You know, I know throughout the year on this podcast, you know, I would say, you know, that I wasn't necessarily hating the pandemic in terms of like being, being locked down, because I'm a homebody anyway, so I can adapt. I don't need to be out. I don't like going out, honestly. Almost all of my hobbies are home, so me going out isn't a big deal, you know, but you know, everybody has tackled this whole situation differently. You know, a lot of people I know who have struggled. A lot of people have flourished. A lot of people I've seen also become entrepreneurs as a result, doing podcasts, you know, starting their own businesses, you know, advancing. So you've seen so many different things. People getting hurt by this pandemic and people benefiting from this pandemic. You know, it's all about one's mindset, I guess, right? And how people look at the world. But it's been a full year. It's crazy. We gone a year already. I was going through my Instagram earlier today, too. And I remember posting the first video of the first day we were locked down, quarantined. And it was my sons. They were, you know, messing around in the living room, whatnot. And I can't believe it's been a year later since that. And I will say it does feel like right now that we're coming close to, like, well, we can definitely kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is a great thing, and of course, people are getting vaccinated. The President Biden already said tonight during his address. I didn't watch it, but I'm hearing all the quotes from after his press conference, his speech, that he wants to have all Americans be able to be vaccinated by May 1st, which, by the way, is my birthday. This is a record. So this kind of feel like we're getting close to being closer to normal. For me now, personally, I've been back to work since May. We've been going. It does feel like, for the most part, that nothing has changed in my life. The only difference in me is that I'm wearing a mask every day, and certain different internal things at work that's been different from pre-COVID. But all in all, my life hasn't really been altered as much, and I'm grateful for that. Obviously, I got friends of mine who's still not back at work yet. We're hoping to get back to work soon. Obviously praying for people who are going through some challenges, whether it be mentally, physically. This has not been an easy year for a lot of folks. So, and today the president again signing the 1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Lots of opinions on that and whatnot. People need money. There's a lot of folks who need money right now. And they're not. It's not their fault. They're in the situation they're at now. Small businesses need money. It's not their fault they had to shut down. So it's a lot of. I'm kind of, and I spoke about this in the last episode about like getting over the political thing, and when I say political thing, I mean in terms of over just everything being politicized, even the pandemic. And I am now trying to contribute to turning down the volume now moving forward. So I'm trying to avoid that. But the stimulus bill, like I said, passed today. The president signed it actually signed it a day earlier. We heard that he was going to sign it on Friday, but we're recording this on a Thursday, and he signed it this afternoon. So hopefully people can start getting back to normal little by little. Like I said, people want to get vaccinated by May 1st. That's what he wants. We'll see what happens, obviously. And, I like to get back to not wearing a mask at some point, although I do support the mask mandate for the time being until we get close to where at least 2/3 of Americans have been vaccinated. I know there's a lot of, Texas is reopening now fully without a mask mandate. The Texas Rangers actually opening day going to have full capacity, or going to allow full capacity for the first Texas Rangers baseball game. A lot of opinions on that one too. I'm not going to share it here. It doesn't matter what I think. I just want people to be responsible at the end of the day and to use caution and wisdom. I'm not one for lockdown. I'm against the lockdown. I've been saying that all the way through this entire pandemic. But let's use common sense also. Mask mandates in places like grocery stores and anything as a public places that, requires gatherings or attracts gatherings for that matter. It shouldn't be that hard, honestly. But, people, again, want to make this a politicized thing, and it's kind of sad. And again, we're now 1 year into this pandemic. It is stunning how we've gone a year at this. And yeah, we're light ending the tunnel. We're seeing it. And hopefully we continue to get closer to that because, Lord knows, a lot of folks need to get back to work and get back to their lives, especially school, So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, stimulus is signed today. Some music talk here. The Weeknd is actually boycotting the Grammys because they did not nominate his hit. Let me read the statement here. This is from CNN.com. The pop star The Weeknd said he will no longer submit songs for the music industry's most prestigious annual award show after it declined to nominate him for a single accolade for his hit single Blinding Lights, which has spent 52 weeks in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. The news comes as the organization behind the Grammys is facing scrutiny over its secretive voting system and alleges biases against black and female artists. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. I've always had issues with the Grammys. I hate the Grammys. I've hated the Grammys for years. I like that The Weeknd's doing this, honestly. I have no problem with it. Just as long as he knows that this is going to create more friction moving forward. Which I'm sure he's a smart guy. He knows. But can I just say real quick, am I the only one still think the Grammys don't matter anymore? Like, does anybody watch this shit anymore? I haven't watched the Grammys in, over a decade, maybe 2 decades. Like, I don't care. I think the only time I watch the Grammys is if Metallica shows up, and I'll watch only their performance and then tune back out again. The Grammys have been shit for quite a while. You know, just like the VMAs and the MTV VMAs. They've been shit for a long time. The Grammys in that too. And honestly, this idea that this is some secretive voting system or people who aren't transparent with the votes and whatnot, that doesn't surprise me at all. Half these idiots voting don't even know a goddamn thing about music or what's good music, for that matter. So, the Grammys to me are overrated. Like, yeah, it looks good on your resume. Oh, hey, I'm this X artist or band, and I won 5 Grammys and 2 American Music Awards and 4 VMAs. Yeah, I guess that still looks pretty good in hindsight. But I don't view the Grammys the same way I used to. Like, seriously, I don't give a shit about the Grammys, and most people don't either. The ratings are shit now. No, like I if it wasn't for this press release by The Weeknd, I would have known the Grammys were coming on this weekend to begin with. It's on this Sunday apparently. Like, who gives a crap? But I like the fact The Weeknd, and for the record, I'm not a big fan of his, although I enjoyed his Super Bowl halftime show. I thought he was really good. Other people thought it was shit. I disagree. I thought it was very creative. You know? But the fact that this song didn't get a single nomination is kind of shitty because, you know, it's a good song. It's been on radio a lot. You know, to me, I argue it's overplayed, which means it should get some love, like at least one nomination. The fact they get none, he has a point. Like, what are they basing their nominations on? You know, I don't know, man. He kind of has an argument here, honestly. And I don't always jump on the side of the artist because sometimes artists get too emotional because they're not getting their way. But in this case, The Weeknd has a point. I kind of feel like he has a point here. So, yeah. In other words, it's here on Earnestly Media. I'm going to say it out there. It is fuck the Grammys. How about that? Fuck the Grammys. Anyway. So NBA talk real quick. Meyers Leonard, Miami Heat center. Of course, I'm a Heat fan, so definitely know with this one. Made some anti-Semitic comments during a gaming session earlier this week using the K word, insulting Jews. He has since been suspended from the team indefinitely. He was fined by the NBA $50,000, suspended for a week. Now, The more interesting thing about this situation with Meyers Leonard is that he has not. Oh, look at that! I got to see my knee in the video. By the way, this backdrop here, I'm working on that. By the way, it looks shitty. We'll work on the backdrop. People on YouTube watching this. Oh, my headphones fell out. Sorry. Meyers Leonard has not been cut from the team yet. Now, he's been hurt. He was out for the year. A lot of folks saying that it's kind of shitty that the Heat have not cut him yet. Now, it's worth noting that the Miami Heat ownership group, Mickey Arison, is Jewish, is from Israel. Ted Arison, the original owner of the Heat, also, same thing too. So, a lot of people kind of confused why is this guy still on the team? For starters, he is not even contributing anymore because he's hurt. It's out for the year. So why is he still on the team? Now, my take on this might not be very popular. I do believe in second chances, honestly. I don't know if I would sign this guy, though, going forward, honestly. I mean, I hope he is apologetic. He released a statement. He said he didn't know what the word meant, which, honestly, I don't want to judge, but he sounded pretty comfortable saying it to the point where I would have assumed you would know what it meant. So I don't believe that, personally. That's just me. Maybe the team knows more about this guy, because he's done some good stuff in the community. You know, I've heard some of the things he was doing was helping raise the money for one media member down here after his house burned down, whatever. He's done some good things here. So this is kind of a shitty situation, you know? I mean, if the Heat are okay with giving second chances, who would hate on that, honestly? I don't know if I could do it personally. I don't know if would want to be associated with this guy moving forward. Maybe the Heat know more about this guy. Well, obviously they do, because they've had this guy now 2 years in the team. Maybe there's some value there. Maybe this is also a business decision too, because he's guaranteed $9 million. Next year is a team option. Even before this thing even broke down, I was saying they're not going to keep him. You know, pick up his option, $10 million, $9 million, what the hell he's making. So, I don't know. Yeah. So, Meyers Leonard, you know, I mean, I don't believe his ass saying that he didn't know what kike meant. Like, come on, dude. You know what it meant. You sound fucking comfortable saying it, you know? Anyway, not NBA. Basketball Hall of Fame finalists are announced in 2021. Here are the 14 names in consideration: Lauren Jackson, Paul Pierce, Rick Adelman, Michael Cooper, Bill Russell as a coach, Jay Wright, Lana Griffin, Marianne Stanley, my man Chris Bosh, Leah Andrews, Tim Hardaway, Marcus Johnson, Ben Wallace, and Chris Webber. Now, the official class will be announced on May 16th. Standouts here. Here's the ones I guarantee to get in for a fact. I know. Paul Pierce is definitely getting in. Okay, first time on the ballot. Bill Russell, he's already in as a player. As a coach, we'll see. I'm praying to God Chris Bosh gets in finally. It's the second time on the ballot. Tim Hardaway, once again, has been someone who was not, he's been eligible to get on there for the last 15 years or something like that. Maybe a little less than that, but he hasn't gotten in yet. Maybe this is his year. I hope Ben Wallace gets in. Ben Wallace deserves to get in the Hall of Fame, honestly. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think you got Chris Webber, obviously another one who probably should get in. Well, we'll see. This is actually kind of a semi-light class in comparison to other classes. Like last year was stacked because of Kobe Bryant, because of Tim Duncan and others and whatnot. So obviously it's hard for Chris Bosh to crack in there, but we'll see. More NBA news. LaMarcus Aldridge and the San Antonio Spurs have parted ways. And I've been saying the Miami Heat to go after him. Now, here's the caveat with that, though. I don't want, and now, granted, I don't know if this is actually an option, because I believe this is his last year on the contract, I think, with the Spurs. I don't want the Heat to trade for him and give assets, unless it's very, very light assets for him. I'd rather they get him on the buyout market. I just don't know if that's actually realistic and whether or not that can actually happen. But if it does, it'll be good. Now, he's having a bad year, obviously. So, but I feel like maybe a change of scenery is in order for LaMarcus. I mean, obviously he can't rebound like he used to. The game has kind of passed him by in recent years. But I feel like a veteran guy, this is a guy that, could contribute to a contending team like the Heat or the Lakers or the Celtics. You sign him as long as it doesn't cost you much money. Why not? So, but it's not a surprise that the Spurs and Aldridge parting ways. We speculated before the year started that him or DeMar DeRozan or both would probably at some point not be available, or at some point not be on that team, or will be trade pieces at some down the road. Which is funny because the Spurs are actually having a decent year too. As of this recording, because the second half of the year just started today, the Spurs are actually right now in the Western Conference. And if you go on my camera, you'll see my cat. Look at the camera, see my cat. The Spurs right now are the 7th seed in the Western Conference. So they've overachieved this year, actually. So clearly they don't need Aldridge. They're still playing well without him. So we'll see what happens there. Patrick Ewing was disrespected by the Knicks recently after a game against Villanova. Patrick Ewing was checked by security at the Garden, to which he was quoted, "Everybody in this building should know who the hell I am, and I'm getting stopped. I can't move around this building." I was like, what the hell? Is this Madison Square Garden? Then he added, quote, "I'm going to have to call Mr. Dolan and say, geez, is my number in the rafters or not, or what?" It's kind of fucked up. How the hell you don't know who Patrick Ewing is? Patrick Ewing is 7-1. Patrick Ewing is an 11-time All-Star. Patrick Ewing made the Knicks relevant for a good decade. That man doesn't need any introductions. You know who he is. Nobody looks like Patrick Ewing but Patrick Ewing. Again, this is James Dolan being James Dolan. I'm blaming him because this is his arena. Obviously, he owns the place. Like, come on, man. The Knicks continue to nick, and they're having a good year. They're having a good year. Playoff started today. They're probably in. Come on, Dolan. You're doing a good job. You weren't being talked about for a little bit, and your team's actually playing well, and this shit happens. NFL salary cap dropped 8% for this year, and you can see a lot of teams cutting players, not because they want to, because they have to, because they got to get down to at least $10 million of cap room because of 8% drop in the cap. Should be surprised again. COVID, less revenue. No. I mean, people say, well, what about team money? Well, team money is there, obviously, but there were no crowds this year. There's no crowds in the games this year. So, of course, there's going to be a drop. No one should be surprised by that. Come on. Easy. But we'll see. We saw Eric Fisher from the Chiefs got cut today. A couple semi-notable names got cut this week. Emmanuel Lewis. Oh, my God. Webster. Emmanuel Sanders got cut by the Saints, and a couple other key players this week. And it's a reaction to even more tightness in the salary cap. So, anyway, last thing before I go, I'm going to make a point here about AEW wrestling talk here now, and why they needed to stop with the ranking system. Okay, so I haven't watched Dynamite yet, from last night, from Wednesday. But Christian Cage, I don't know if he challenged Kenny Omega yet, but they had a face-off on Dynamite. So the idea is that, you're led to believe that the next big match might be Christian Cage, who just debuted literally this past Sunday on Revolution pay-per-view, and Kenny Omega are gonna go and do battle at some point. Well, here's the thing. Don't you have a ranking system for a reason? Is Christian Cage the number one contender out the gate? How did he earn that? I don't know. That's weird to me. And this is why AEW should just get rid of the ranking system altogether. It's no point in having it, honestly. There's no point in having it. Because if you're not going to follow it, is it the number one contender Scorpio Sky or somebody else? Or who the hell is it? A Moxley? I don't know who the fuck it is, but it's not Christian Cage. Christian Cage should not be number one contender by virtue of what you do. Just get rid of the rankings altogether. That way you're not back in the corner. Focus on writing TV. I feel like AEW would do these things to hurt themselves, to make things harder for themselves. Stop the rankings. Just write TV. Pull whoever you want in the number one contender spot. If it's Shaq, let it be Shaq. I don't give a shit. If it makes sense. If it tells a good story, who gives a crap? These ranking systems. Look, it's not a sport. Okay, it's sports entertainment. Okay. Embrace it. It's scripted television. We don't need the rankings. Make it make sense according to your writing. Let the writers write the show without having this ranking system being the be-all, end-all, and then you kind of supersede that by throwing Christian Cage, if indeed he's the number one contender going forward, to do that. It makes no sense. Just get rid of the rankings. Pull it. Be done with it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I got for you. Anyway, I'm done. Earnestly Podcast. Again, March 11, 2021. Stay up. Enjoy your weekend. We're on Twitter. earnestlyweekend.net for the website. Earnestly Media on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe. Support. Also, my wrestling podcast, Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. We'll have an announcement this week. Big announcement coming up. So, look out for that. But until then, we'll talk soon. And we're done. Stay up. Love you guys. Take care. See ya.